Mistweaver Destruction Warlock. Also a very solid composition. We'll definitely have to see how it plays out.
Two very intelligent compositions in the current meta. Let's see how they can do.
Beautiful Transcendence by Numbliz, escaping out of that multiple Chaos Nova stun. Nice reaction on his part. He's typically the Discipline Priest for his team, now diversifying over on the Mistweaver Monk with a nice early play to deny tons of damage from the team of Method Black. But I think that mana is the name of the game. Can Numbliz out-mana Chaz in this particular match? He had a lot of late games in the offline stages and actually did outdo Druids on his Monk. I think this may be the first time we've seen tons of damage. Where is this coming from? Chaz not holding on it. Ring of Peace out of the darkness. Beautifully done by Rezus. They have to commit both anti-magic zone and darkness, everything, and even still getting pressured at the moment. This damage out of nowhere by Plot Twist as they take Chaz for a run. Chaz desperately trying to stay away, but Numbliz and Rezus all over him, just constantly preventing him from getting his health back to full. One Chaos Bolt here gets interrupted by Raikou. Ring of Peace knocks Chaz back into the open. Rezus' Ring of Pieces paired with the Destruction Warlock are always immaculate, really well done, and creating tons of pressure for his team, but finally Chaz is getting some moments to breathe.
Yeah, Chaz manages to stabilize, and that was just all because they did not respect the damage coming in from YesDave. Everything was used way too late. YesDave able to get some Chaos Bolts off and really punish Method Black. That was such a close call on Chaz, but ultimately Method Black manages to stabilize. If we look at mana, there is a slight lead for Chaz, but Numbliz honestly not doing too bad.
I was going to say, Numbliz, this may be the first time I believe we've seen a Mistweaver Monk in competitive tournament play. If I'm wrong, someone please tell me. But I have a feeling I am. I am wrong. Okay, well, one of the few times we've seen Mistweaver Monk in tournament play, so if you are a Mistweaver main at home, you definitely want to be tuning into this match in particular. Numbliz showcasing it quite effectively. YesDave under huge pressure. Numbliz is the one that has to stabilize him in this position, but it is costing him quite a bit of mana to do so. Chaz already establishing that lead. Numbliz getting pulled into the fight. Amazing positioning on that Ursul's Vortex, sucking Numbliz back into the cleave, but he does manage to finally make a getaway as both teams stabilize. Chaz still the target for Rezus, but YesDave simply can't connect.
Yeah, Chaz getting into bear form on that leg sweep, managing to take basically no damage. And the fact is, YesDave, if he's not getting off any damage onto Chaz, it is really unlikely that Rezus and Numbliz are going to be able to take him down. In the meantime, there's just so much pressure for Method Black on YesDave. Numbliz caught into the stun, has to trinket out to get some healing going. YesDave could be in a lot of trouble right now. Raikou getting bursted down low, no trinket available. Once again, Maldic does land the safeguard procs. Chaz having to keep him alive, and there's just so much pressure for both of these teams.
Anti-magic zone, Raikou was actually just running away from it. A bit of a blunder by Method Black. I don't think they were expecting this amount of pressure coming out from Plot Twist, and they are expending tons of defense that otherwise I would not expect them to simply throw away. YesDave gets an opening, snags in a Chaos Bolt on Raikou, but Chaz was ready and waiting, already lining up heals to stabilize him. However, at the cost of his mana, as both healers are even at this point and we edge closer to dampening, it's still anyone's game. Numbliz gets gripped into the triple stun. Nice moves by Swapsy and Raikou. YesDave on low health. Numbliz trades Life Cocoon, soaking up those heals. Raikou forced to switch targets for now, but switching off a Warlock is not a wise move defensively, so Raikou is going to reposition out of line of sight. YesDave drops that Demonic Gateway. Gateways across right onto the enemy team. Nice play by YesDave. He barely gets stopped. He was easily going to close that game out if it weren't for Swapsy.
Yeah, that was so nicely done by Swapsy to keep him alive. Raikou getting caught into two leg sweep with an incapacitate on Chaz. Devastating moment. Really scary there for Method Black, but now YesDave, the pressure's on. Once again, looking for a Chaos Bolt off the back of that Mortal Coil, but with no crowd control on Chaz, he should be able to easily heal through this, and Chaz actually managed to get a little bit of a drink earlier on. Numbliz tried to escape, but Swapsy shut that down, so the drinking opportunities for both of these healers has not been good in this matchup so far, but still, they're relatively even on mana.
YesDave competed last year at the European Regionals with Ratapai on his team with Rockets Esports, and now he was playing Mage at that time, so he's actually re-rolled over to Destruction Warlock in this series. Numbliz actually trading Life Cocoon. I think it might even just be wise to trade cooldowns for mana because it's so tight at this point between the two of them, as Chaz has Innervate to make his mana free. He just needs to stay out of line of sight of being dispelled by that Fell Hunter, and it doesn't look like it's going to land. Chaz gets tons of bonus healing. Actually spell locked right at the last second. Maybe an opening here. Lots of damage. Yes, Dave carrying hard on this Destruction Warlock. Ring of Peace out of line of sight and out of the darkness. They have to trade even more. Raikou is pinned down, trying to make an escape. The pressure from Plot Twist is definitely insane. They came to play.
Yeah, no question about it. Raikou still trying to get some damage onto Yes Dave, trying to get out of that Shadow Fury as well. Yes Dave loads up a Chaos Bolt, gets gripped away by Swapsy. Swapsy MVP keeping his team alive with these interrupts, with these stuns, with these grips, really limiting the damage Yes Dave can do, but still Yes Dave finding the damage he needs. Incapacitate now used over onto Chaz. Raikou could still be in a little bit of trouble, but with no stun available, Raikou should easily survive.
Mana is a little bit in favor of Chaz, but with these constant burst opportunities by Yes Dave, I can't really count his team out. Bit of a peculiar Mortal Coil play there. Maybe he was trying to stop Swapsy from denying the drink, but there was already that ghoul running across the battlefield to stop Ursul's Vortex on the portal of Numbless. Nice moves by Chaz, making it difficult for Numbless now to avoid potential interrupts. Doesn't seem like they're available. He's just freely channeling. Raikou gets caught in a double leg sweep. Yes, Dave is starting to ramp. He's got Infernals in 7 more seconds, and if Method Black aren't ready for that, they don't have much defense. Having now traded Ironbark, there's no darkness, there's no anti-magic zone. These are important to deny Yes Dave's damage, which is now available. Infernals have landed. If Yes Dave can sneak in 3 Chaos Bolts in a row, it's going to be devastation. He gets stopped on the first one. Raiku's going to respect the cooldowns and retreat away. Yes Dave in hot pursuit. I'd like to see maybe a Demonic Gateway placed here so that Yes Dave can get in line of sight. Instead, he's going to go after Swapsy. Swapsy can deny that easily with anti-magic sealed. He wanted that swap. That's why he stayed out in the open, soaks up all of the damage. Now Raikou can have free reign.
Abomination gets used by Swapsy. You can see it in midfield. That big ghoul is going to be able to put out tons of damage with that as long as it stays on target. Unfortunately, it's not on Yes Dave just yet. Not finding the damage. Touch of Death has been used. Who's it on? Rezu's looking for some burst. Onto, I believe, Swapsy in this situation. No, onto Raikou. Ironbark gets used on Raikou to deny some of that damage. Leg sweep as well. Chaz almost completely tapped on mana in this situation. And Plot Twist, despite all odds, they're still ahead on mana. Now Swapsy getting turned to. Icebound Fortitude gets traded out. The Ring of Peace on the anti-magic zone. The Ring of Peace this game from Rezus and Yes Dave have been incredible.
Switching targets against the Druid is a great way to burn him out of mana, and Numbless now has the lead. They've got crowd control. Yes Dave carrying, but Raikou reverses. Rezus and Yes Dave are so low, and Numbless has no mana, but Swapsy is running out of cooldowns. Chaz needs 10 more seconds, 9 more seconds. Looks like Swapsy might be able to buy him that time, but Rezus is on fire, dealing devastation. Amazing Ring of Pieces. Everything about it has been perfect, and potentially Method Black are going to be taken down in game 1. Yes Dave gets the Chaos Bolt. If Rezus can roll over there and stay on target, it might be enough. Chaz denies it with Innervate Ironbark. Chaz needs to get healing on this Innervate. He is going to. Now Swapsy is stabilized and Rezus is on the back foot.
Yeah, Touch of Karma does get used. One of the last lines of defense for Rezus in this match. Fear now secured on Chaz. He's actually managed to regenerate a little bit of mana, but Numbless still comfortably healing through it, although his mana is low as well. If Swapsy and Raikou can continue the pressure on Yes Dave, definitely close out this game, but the counter pressure from Rezus and Yes Dave has just been so immense. Double Mortal Coil once again on Raikou and Swapsy, but Method Black looking healthy as Rezus rots down low. Now a viable target with no diffused magic, no Touch of Karma. Method Black has 2 pressure points.
Rezus needs 22 more seconds to get aggressive for his team, but I don't think he's gonna get it. Numbless holds on for a few more moments with that life cocoon, but Chaz is moving in. He gets crowd control. He's looking for the clone. He gets it. Yes, Dave is all alone. He makes the trade and maybe counter aggresses. That's his only option. They have to take down Swapsy and make a switch, but he's just under so much pressure. Then they're going after Raikou. Raikou denies the kill with Blur. Now he's taking reduced damage. Yes, Dave is exposed. Chaz is all over Numbless potentially for Cyclones. He activates that Maledix. That's going to soak a lot of healing, and Yes, Dave is going to fall in game number 1 as was expected, but Plot Twist definitely
be able to get themselves onto match point.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Method Black in the upper bracket had a couple of close calls here in game number 1, but now that they've seen the surprise attack, Plot Twist have to throw another obscure play here, bringing in the Arcane Mage, trying to take advantage of Spell Steal to counteract those heal over time effects from Chaz's Restoration Druid. Numbless catches Chaz, Rezus rolls over, gets gripped away from the fight, tries to catch a ride to win, but Raikou plays defense. Rezus just can't connect. Both Raikou and Swapsy took full control of Rezus, denying that attack. Great teamwork.
Yep, and Chaz manages to escape there, really not committing too much. Yes, Dave uses his presence of mind to get those arcane blasts, but Rezus got destroyed by Swapsy, got gripped away, then put into imprisonment by Raikou, denying any damage he could really put out on Chaz. And if they can continuously deny these setups onto Chaz, it's going to be really difficult for Plot Twist to actually land a kill.
Chaz once again caught and incapacitate out of bear farm. Raikou is frost nova'd far away, and Chaz respects the incoming burst that Rezus had available and is still impending as tons of damage is flying forward. Chaz tries to escape to safety, but YesDave is going to start stripping those rejuvenations off, and Chaz will be completely exposed if they can stay on target, but Chaz has now managed to sneak away. He can go into Prowl and Drink as well. I mean, his teammates are feeling pretty comfortable. YesDave blinks in, Arcane Explosion. That's going to be a great way to stop Chaz from regenerating mana. So what we need to see from Plot Twist is Numliz, is he able to escape from the fight and find opportunities to reset his mana? Currently under an attack by that Death Grip. He didn't panic though, rolling now after the Ursul's Vortex and securing some safety. I would like to see him drink here while Chaz is under pressure, but Raiku's on top of him. A Demon Hunter as well as an Arcane Mage with the most mobility in the game. It's going to be difficult for either team to drink with those classes chasing them down.
And you can see Numliz, he's way behind on mana at this point in the game. Chaz getting interrupted. Another setup coming in from Plot Twist as they look to find a stun onto Chaz if they can. Arcane Missiles connecting onto Chaz. Raikou pressuring down Numliz. Chaz now in bear form behind the pillar, should be able to survive, but all three members on top of him. Kleptomania comes in from YesDave to remove all those heal over time effects, but Chaz responds perfectly, getting the Iron Bark on himself in bear form during these stuns. That's pretty much all he can do in the situation to survive. Gladiator Safeguard procs out as well, so during the next setup, he won't have that available, but Trinket rotating back up, Barkskin rotating back up, and the opportunities for Rezus and Numliz to actually close out this game are going to be off the back of those leg sweeps. If they can't connect them on cooldown, Chaz, I think, is going to have an easy time surviving.
Raikou is running Mana Rift, so every time Numliz is stunned, there will be a purple circle formed underneath him, activated by Raikou. This will then burn away and destroy his mana bar. Raikou on that Demon Hunter is basically attacking mana rather than health, and it's very difficult for Numliz to get away, but maybe he has found an opportunity. He's quite far away from the fight and surprisingly not regenerating any mana, so he's going to lose that edge that maybe he could have built for his team. Rezus has decided to target down Raikou instead of Chaz, so making a bit of a mid-game adaptation. Numliz avoids that Mana Rift by using Gladiator's Medallion and then Chi Torpedoing out. Now looking to reverse with that Maledict activated on Raikou. Numliz has had enough of Raikou. Finally, he's forced away and potentially opening a chance to drink. Swapsy moves in. Death and Decay on one side, Swapsy on the other. Numliz doesn't really have a good choice, but he's wasting Swapsy's time at least. He's not attacking anyone as he's just trying to stop him from regenerating mana. Numliz needs to stay max range from Raikou, avoid as many stun Mana Rift combos as possible. At this point, it's even, but Chaz, he might be just looking to build an advantage. Numliz rolls in twice to get it, manages to stop it, but it might have been too little too late. How much mana did Chaz ultimately get? A tiny bit of a lead, fortunately for Numliz.
Yep, and Numliz really hasn't been able to drink, and now actually a good opportunity for Raikou and Swapsy to go on him. He used both his Chi Torpedoes to cross the map and slow down that drink, uses the Transcendence to get out of line of sight, trying to heal himself up. He should be okay with that, but I like what Raikou and Swapsy are doing, making sure Numliz is pressured in this matchup, and now that he doesn't have a trinket, he's going to be susceptible to those stun mana rifts as well. Chaz trinketing out, wanting to avoid some damage. I think that was potentially Arcane Power coming in from YesDave. No. It's been on cooldown for too long, but Chaz just didn't want to mess around, managed to survive. But if Rezus and YesDave can wait long enough, Touch of Death and Arcane Power are going to be rotating up before Chaz has a trinket, and that's an opportunity for Plot Twist to get hyper-aggressive. If they have any Gladiators Maledict trinkets, they can potentially push Chaz over.
Ooh, Chaz gets caught, but nice teamwork by Swapsy. No legs, so he actually catches him. Chaz tried to pre-Iron Bark this. Will it be enough is now the next question, and it looks to be the case as a quick Swiftman starts to stabilize Chaz. Numliz, look at that mana bar, the blue bar below his health. It's looking so little. It's just dwindling away here as Plot Twist tried to pull out a Windwalker Arcane Mage composition, and it's just not working out for them. Raikou on that Demon Hunter is too easily denying any sorts of regeneration and trades with these mana rifts so efficiently. Now Chaz is getting pressured. If there was an opportunity for plot twist, it would be to take down Chaz. If they can use Ring of Peace to deny Raiku's darkness, there isn't actually much defense for Chaz, so definitely look for Rezus to carry the game here momentarily.
Yeah, Raikou, he has to use the darkness. He has Trinket, he has darkness. He has the tools to keep Chaz alive. Chaz preemptively Iron Barks, looking to get out of line of sight. That was the touch of death coming in from Rezus and the arcane power, but really, Dave not able to get out the damage he needed with that ability, and Chaz is going to survive quite easily. Now Numliz once again trinketing out. His mana is not looking good. Raikou has good uptime. He's trying to cross the map. Portals away. Swapsy looking to continue the pressure on Dave, not allowing him to get out arcane blasts and arcane missiles, looking for interrupts, keeping him in midfield. And although the arcane mage does have a lot of mobility, Swapsy, he's going to be able to stay on top of him, get those death grips in, keep the chains of ice up, and it's going to be difficult for Dave to actually get on top of Chaz and take him down.
All right, Numliz is getting hunted by Raiku's Demon Hunter. This mana rift, another 2 of those, and Numliz is going to be completely tapped. We've just stepped foot into dampening. Cooldowns are burning out. Mana is completely empty at this point. Chaz with a significant lead. Now a swap to Dave. Numliz has to expend even more to try and save him. They managed to catch Raikou in a leg sweep. That Ring of Peace on Chaz a little bit too late. Now Iron Bark will stabilize Raikou and allow him to survive. It did pull Glidier's Medallion from Chaz, which means they could go after him, and Rezus immediately sees that, and it will begin the attack. Chaz deflects, bashing up Rezus, Cyclonium, denying him from attacking. Rezus actually decides, okay, it's do or die. I'm going to use Glidier's Medallion and stay on target. Numliz doesn't have much left. It's basically kill Chaz in about the next minute and a half or lose. Numliz is getting swapped here by both Swapsy and Raikou. Secures a double leg sweep, buying him a couple seconds, but he needs to try and escape. He's still just locked out in midfield from that Ursul's Vortex of Chaz. Numliz is just getting destroyed. The dampening's too high. He's got no mana left, and Method Black have clinical precision in this matchup, both going after the mana bar as well as the health bar. This composition from Method Black looks unstoppable in this series. Numliz on the ropes with not much left. Maledict soaking up all of that healing. He can't dispel it. He's got no mana. Swapsy grips to finish. Numliz portals away, just flailing to stay alive. Gets cycloned at low health by Chaz. Now it looks like Swapsy will reconnect. Caught in a leg sweep. Surprising that he doesn't just Icebound Fortitude. I feel like the game is already over at this point. If they just connect, anybody on the team of Plot Twist could fall.
Yeah, and Chaz is actually running Balance Affinity, showcasing it here and now, getting into the Moonkin form, throwing out those Cyclones. So although he was Balance Affinity, manages to survive the swaps coming in from Plot Twist quite easily. Rezus has to trade out his Diffuse Magic as he gets low. Numliz really no mana left. Raiku's going to be able to have incredible uptime on him as Numliz looks to try to escape once again. Double Ring of Peace gets dropped out. Polymorph Span from Dave, and Numliz manages to get behind the pillar, but Raikou trying to land some more damage, keep him in combat, avoid some drinks. It looks like Plot Twist trying to set up another go, but they're just so far behind. Rezus with no defenses. He needs to kite away now, and I don't know how much hope is left for Plot Twist.
I mean, Numliz is doing everything he can in this specific instance, but with Death Grip and Ursul's Vortex, there's almost no escape. He transcendences out around the corner. Chaz moves in to stop him from trying to drink. It's just nowhere for Numliz to go. Raikou all over him, start to finish. He's got nothing, but he's managed to at least stay in it, maybe? They get a double leg sweep, maybe the miracle opportunity. No, Maledict's now soaking up healing. That Abomination's going to be tearing in, and Numliz has nothing. Method Black close it out here in game number 2. Plot Twist need a different answer.
Darkness from Raikou and the anti-magic zone from Swapsy. Watch for Rezus and Numliz using the Ring of Peace to deny those defensives so they can push through and actually land a kill.
All right, at this point, Dave is the target. What are you going to do? It's match point. Is he going to be able to get that big punch? Raikou stalls it out as they see Infernals have landed and just immediately evacuate that situation. And this is exactly what they need to do. Ride the Wind is down, at least by Rezus. Perhaps Dave can catch a quick ride on that. Instead, not using the Ride the Wind to go forward. That's a mistake on Dave's part. He could have got back into the enemy team's face. Rezus here setting up a Chaos Bolt. One connects. They need more than one. Do they need more than one? A lot of damage onto Raikou here. The Ring of Peace knocks Raikou out of the defense of that anti-magic zone, and maybe they got enough damage early on. Numliz is playing Way of the Crane, although a very expensive ability to activate. He's going to want to pick his moment for that in the future, but it could be just enough damage to put their team over the edge to get a win on the board.
Yeah, Raikou was in a lot of trouble there, using the Metamorphosis to deny the killing blow and ultimately survive. Now, Dave still finding some damage. Darkness available for Raikou if he needs it. Full Fear now secured on Chaz. Very nicely done. Incapacitate on Chaz. Are they going for him? No. Looks like they want to continue the pressure onto Raikou in this matchup. Numla's mana doing quite well. Actually, Chaz is the one that's behind. The pressure coming in from Plot Twist early on was devastating, but that was off the back of Infernal and Dark Soul. Touch of Death now secured on Raikou. He realizes he could be in some trouble. He's kind of kite away, get out of line of sight of Yes Dave. Gets bursted down quite a bit. Full fear on Chaz, but gets the Iron Bark before the crowd control hits, and Raikou should be able to survive the stun because of that.
Yeah, great play on the part of Method Black as they know the threat from Plot Twist and can consistently navigate through defensive maneuvering to avoid the attacks. Rezus and Numbless could be the X factor though with that Way of the Crane. We'll have to wait to see at what moment they decide to activate that. Ring of Peace preventing Swapsy's Abomination from connecting. Well placed defensively there as Numbless makes a move but gets gripped away. Perfect Transcendence positioning though. Numbless is able to portal right back beside Chaz, surprisingly not going for the leg sweep. At least he avoided the stun. Chaz now caught in crowd control as Yes Dave sneaks in a fear, but there's just no counter aggression at this point. Although Plot Twist is, by all intents and purposes, actually leading on mana, which is a bit unexpected.
Yep, Numla's doing a really good job just using the Soothing Mist and his Serpent Jade statue to heal up Yes Dave. And because Swapsy and Raikou don't have any healing reduction, they don't have the Mortal Wounds effect, I feel like it's going to be easy for Numla's to keep him alive until a little bit later on, or he runs out of mana.
All right, Yes Dave getting interrupted on those Chaos Bolts. You definitely want to keep your eye on that cast. It's the most big threat that Plot Twist have available on their roster, however, can be easily avoided by line of sight, stuns, and interrupts. So Raikou, Swapsy need to both deal damage and prevent Chaos Bolts. In this position, Swapsy denies it, although pressure is still mounting. Numbless tries to roll in, gets pulled in by a well-placed Ursul's Vortex and Death Grip combo. Both Chaz and Swapsy on point with those spells, but Numbless actually still escapes, secures some crowd control for his team, but just no damage really on the side of Plot Twist. Outside of that Touch of Death, outside of that Infernal window, really their pressure is just so low.
Yeah, it seems like Numla's just using Soothing Mist only to keep Yes Dave alive. Raikou getting bursted down. Chaz's mana is not looking good. He's going to have to escape for a drink at some point with the way Plot Twist is playing it. Very conservative, very safe. In that last go, Numla's actually had to trinket out as he got gripped on one of his Chi Torpedoes and vortexed on the neck. So that was nicely done by Method Black. They're going to have to keep looking for these situations, and the next time it happens, Numla's isn't going to have a trinket to escape.
Infernals have landed. Rezus needs to keep Raikou in line of sight of Yes Dave as long as possible if they're going to find a kill, but he's unable to. Ring of Peace actually knocks Raikou over. Now Yes Dave in line of sight can Chaos Bolt freely, although deciding to go after Swapsy, and I do not think that the Death Knight is a target before dampening. Death Strike simply does too much healing, and without dampening to reduce it, he can easily trade or just use Death Strike to sustain himself, and Chaz has to expend no mana. Chaz is actually just drinking. He's like, you're attacking the Death Knight? All right, he's going to Death Strike, and I'm going to get a full mana bar, and that was actually one thing going in favor of Plot Twist, and now it's not.
Yep, now a lead for Chaz in terms of mana off the back of that drink. And Rezus, Yes Dave, and Numbless, they need to be looking for that constantly in this game because they just threw away the only advantage that they had in this match. So potentially Chaz could fall behind on mana once again with how much pressure Rezus and Yes Dave are able to put out, but they have to look for these drinks if they want to close out this game in the late one.
All right, double leg sweep. Chaz denies the damage with Iron Bark on Raikou. Now he can lead the charge, activating that Metamorphosis. Numbless portaling to safety. No Ursul's Vortex there to catch him. Chaz actually just drinking again, even though he was only down 10% mana. Wants to make sure he's completely in the lead against Numbless as dampening has now just kicked in. Pressure starting to mount on both sides here. If Yes Dave can connect a couple Chaos Bolts, manages to sneak one onto Raikou, who trades Blur to reduce the incoming pressure. They grip Numbless in. Where's the stun? They don't land it. Numbless just rolls to safety quite easily. Double Mortal Coil combo as Yes Dave looks to set up a Chaos Bolt, interrupted by Swapsy. A bit of a miscommunication though. Raikou and Swapsy both using their denial at the same time. They cannot afford to do that too much, or Yes Dave will have free reign in the future, and deeper into dampening that could easily cost their life.
Yeah, this is one thing I noticed about this game is Numbless actually snuck in the Way of the Crane as a talent choice, so something he could activate later on, potentially disguising it until later on and trying to find the final little bit of damage to keep his team alive. And no, having to use a defensive here to keep Yes Dave alive, but just so much damage. The Maledict's on Yes Dave. I don't know if he's going to be able to heal through it, and Numbless expends a huge amount of mana in that situation, and now Chaz has a commanding lead. Numless isn't going to be able to use that Way of the Crane too often as it costs so much mana. You really have to pick your moments. Fortunately, he was able to keep Dave alive with it there, but at the cost of a lot of his mana resource.
Yeah, and now he's shown his hand. Method Black, no Way of the Crane is in the game, and they can trade cooldowns effectively to survive it. Numless gets gripped into the fight. They preemptively Ring of Peace, expecting a stun, but Raikou either not available or holding on to it intelligently. Numless repositions, but that mana lead is so much so secured. Numless rolls away to try and regenerate mana on a drink. Raikou not denying him. Chaz instead moves over. Numless not getting any mana off the back of this. The pet from Swapsy, that Ghoul and Skulker chasing him down, preventing him from getting mana back. This composition is so cleverly crafted by Method Black with the safety of Deathstrike and the soul-rending healing of Raikou. It's so difficult to build pressure before dampening, and as you move into it, the Mana Rift of Raikou just burns the tap for the enemy healer, and because of their durability and their Mana Rift, they can just attack the Mana Bar, get a late game kill. However, the weakness will be Swapsy in dampening, but how much longer can Plot Twist keep going, because they're going to need more of it.
Way of the Crane gets activated by Numliz once again. They're trying to push Swapsy over, but he still has the Icebound Fortitude. He has the Death Pact if he needs it. Numliz now charging in for crowd control onto Chaz. Will he be able to find it? Gets the leg sweep. Death Grip slightly mistimed there by Swapsy, allowing Numliz to get that leg sweep onto Chaz. He was looking to deny it, but unfortunately mistimed it. Full fear now on Chaz. Swapsy still not that much trouble, to be honest with you. The self-healing from the Death Knight's going to be quite heavy, and if Chaz is not crowd control fully loaded up with heal over time effects, Swapsy should be completely fine. Rezu's looking to deny the Tranquility, manages to get it at the end as Chaos Bolt connects on Swapsy. Still decent pressure here for Plot Twist, but Numliz's mana, they are running out of time.
Yeah, if Numliz can keep his mana high, I think in dampening Swapsy does actually go down, but Numliz just doesn't have the mana to do it. In the meantime, Dave actually gets a full fear on Chaz. Swapsy stunned up. Numliz is tearing in. Chaz is still crowd controlled. They need just a tad bit more damage, but Dave just can't find a Chaos Bolt. Now he's on the back foot. Numliz trades Life Cocoon. He doesn't have the mana to Way of the Crane again. It's so expensive. Maybe they don't need it. Rezus is just putting the team on his back and basically soloing Swapsy. If Dave can manage to get a Chaos Bolt off despite all this pressure, perhaps they can take Swapsy out. Anti-Magic Zone, that purple shield protecting the team, allowing them to stay aggressive. Dave repositions outside of it so they can at least continue the attack. Chaos Bolt connects on Swapsy. Maybe this is enough to close. Potentially, Plot Twist could keep themselves alive in this tournament despite having no mana left in the tank. Swapsy's pinned down by Rezus. Dave has control of Raikou as Dave makes his way towards Swapsy, connecting a Shadow Fury on Chaz, crowd controlling him, dropping Rain of Fire instead, maybe knowing he's not going to get a Chaos Bolt, trying to squeak in any extra damage that he can to support Rezus. Raikou denies Numliz from finding any opportunity to regenerate mana. Mana has surprisingly equaled out on both sides. Cooldown slightly in favor of Plot Twist, and they might be able to bounce back in this game if they can stay alive a bit longer.
Numliz, he does have the Life Cocoon, activates it. Way of the Crane available as well. If he can wait for a Mana Tea, he might be able to use it. Dave getting low. Numliz running out of time, and now he doesn't have the mana to use the Way of the Crane. And Dave just falling behind, 27% dampening. Raikou and Swapsy really tearing in. Swapsy forced to trade out the anti-magic shell. Ring of Peace gets used. Dave is freed up a little bit here. If he can find the damage, they might be able to actually win the game. Swapsy in a lot of trouble. Darkness gets dropped out by Raikou to avoid, so Swapsy and Raikou can finally finish off Dave potentially in this game. With Numliz completely tapped on mana, I just don't see how he can survive. Infernal gets dropped, he gates away, still looking for Chaos Bolts, but still Raikou all over him. Shadow Fury gets used. Rezus getting low as well, activates the Touch of Karma, and Swapsy and Raikou can reconnect on Dave. There is no way he can survive, but somehow he proves me wrong.
I mean, one Chaos Bolt here might close the game out if Dave can sneak it in before he dies. Rezus is really hard carrying the team and taking it to Swapsy. Leg sweep. There's nothing left on either side, but Innervate for Chaz makes his healing free. Maybe potentially just enough to keep Swapsy alive, because he's actually starting to falter. Both Dave and Swapsy in trouble in deep dampening with absolutely no mana left, but Dave will fall first here against Method Black. Rezus did everything in his power to try them. That's what
Feed versus the fake Zebras. We're all tied up 1-1. Who is going to find themselves on match point? Who is going to get a little bit further into this tournament? Keep in mind, folks, we're doing a brand new thing. You have just entered in the middle of history, the longest series that has ever been played in Battle for Azeroth.